And moving on to our next story, James Gunn has been rehired. Now, we have to ask very important questions here. So, Tristan, what does your cat Patchy think about this?
Nothing.
She's purring, which I think that means that she likes the news. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear her purring in the background. Now, we talked about this story a while ago. Before we went on live Twitch with our Keikaku corners, we talked about this a while ago. And man, did people not like our coverage. And the reason why I think some people didn't like our coverage is because we were not just like we were talking about, what happened to James Gunn and but we were going really in depth with it. A little bit too long, I'll admit. So we're not going to go too much into it now, but some of it was just us saying like, hey, the people that he's been accused by were not people that were accusing him of pedophilia. They were just saying, hey, we don't like the tweets that he has out, and this is specifically
Right.
Mike
Your
Cernovich.
jokes are
While
distasteful. Yeah.
Right. While Cernovich has also made jokes about raping women, his ex-wife also had said that he had made some terrible jokes and terrible things about her and was abusive during their marriage. And Cernovich have also said a lot of other things as well. And then this is the guy who is then saying, "Oh, let's take down this guy." And it was
Yeah.
just it's so interesting. If you want to hear it more in depth and me be and us be a bit more informed, sound a bit more informed with this, because we're not going to go for another 30 minutes on this topic. I'll link the video down below on if you're watching this to our YouTube channel. And so because again we went way too in depth with that, so we're not going to go in depth again. We're just going to say that I'm happy that he's brought back simply due to the fact, and Tristan, tell me what you think, simply due to the fact that if the comments were that bad and Disney thought they were that bad, he should not have been hired in the first place.
Right. They wouldn't have ever
No.
hired him in the first
And
place.
that's
Exactly.
totally cool if they didn't. Right? Like I love his Guardians work, but if they thought, no, those comments are too much for us, we do not like it, and they let
Right.
him go, okay. That's fine. Right? I
Right.
fully respect that. But and I talked about it last time, but to say, oh, we don't like these comments whatsoever. These comments are terrible. We would never want someone saying these comments after he did two movies with you.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, guys. Like maybe, maybe look at and the thing is, you can't sit back and be like, well, he wasn't vetted. Like, come on,
Right.
come on. So it's just one of those things where, yeah, I think people were kind of upset about what we were saying. Also because we kind of brought it around to Roseanne and stuff like that was going on at the time. Simply because I believe Cernovich had mentioned Roseanne, although
Yeah.
I don't remember that directly. But James Gunn was also very political as well with many of his tweets about anti-Donald Trump and stuff like that. And Cernovich is pro-Trump. So regardless of what you think about Trump or politics or anything like that, I think people didn't like that we got a little bit political. But again, we were talking about the facts, right? Nothing anti-Trump or anything like that. It was just the fact that Cernovich is pro-Trump, James Gunn is anti-Trump, and he comes out and says stuff that's anti-Trump, but not the way Roseanne was saying stuff. And all of a sudden, you have Cernovich saying, "Hey, we got to get this guy removed from this
Right.
movie." Even though, as of this time, and it's been a year since, by the way, as of this time, no one has come out and said that James Gunn had hurt me when I was a child or anything like that. Because if
Right.
they did, that would change the game and that would change how like the whole scenario, right? Not the game,
Right.
but the whole scenario and how we're talking about it. But as of right now, no one has said James Gunn has done anything to me. They just said they didn't like his jokes, which,
Right.
to be fair, they were fucking shitty
Right.
and he should be
Exactly.
criticized for that. But also, we should make sure to know that if James Gunn has apologized for it, which he has in the past, in the present, and maybe will in the future as well if need be. So he's
Right.
apologized for this stuff even before he was hired. When I say the past, not the
Yeah.
past like last year. I'm talking about like before he was even hired for Guardians. So if
Exactly.
someone apologizes for saying shitty things, can we not move on? Like, is there not a world where we could move on,
Right.
and especially years after the fact? Because if James Gunn had just said this stuff last year, I'd be like, well,
Right.
take a hike.
Mm.
See ya.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, goodbye. But James Gunn had said this at this point 9 years ago. I mean, saying it 9 years ago, then apologizing, then getting the two movies. I mean, what are you gonna, what can you do? Like, are you just gonna
Yeah.
keep someone in that forever? And that's again the big difference we mentioned compared to Roseanne, who had said that stuff while she was on, not while she was on the air, but while she was
Yeah.
on her show, her new version of Roseanne, her sequel. So anyway, I want to get James Gunn's comment on this. Specifically, he said, I am tremendously grateful to every person out there who has supported me over the past few months. I'm always learning and will continue to work at being the best human I can be. I deeply appreciate Disney's decision, and I am excited to continue making films that investigate the ties of love that bind us all. I have been and continue to be incredibly humbled by your love and support. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Love to you all. And that was a picture, and then he posted a heart in that same comment. Now, so I'm going to take a drink of water. Tristan, what do you think about this?
I mean, hey, I like Guardians. I don't, I don't think the guy's a bad dude, so I'm glad he's coming back to do his work.
Right. Because we should clarify something. Can I clarify something real quick? He's been rehired to do Guardians 3.
Right.
But interestingly enough, he's not been fired from doing Suicide Squad 2.
Right.
So people have been making...
That was also... So the funny thing about me, you told me about this, and later on, I saw a meme about it later on, but it was... They took it out from Spider-Man, the original 3 Spider-Man movies. So it's J. Jonah Jameson. They're like, "Oh, James Gunn, you're fired. Get out of here." It's like, and then the secretary.
Oh my God!
He's just hired, by to do, DCU movies. Wait, you're on fire. Come back here. I need you.
Oh, okay. I thought because there was this
underneath J. Jonah Jameson.
Because there was this one tweet going around that was by someone who said, "So all the trolls and people that tried to get James Gunn fired were so bad at it they actually got him work." Because he would have just been set to do Guardians 3, and that's it. But now he has Suicide Squad 2, which we were going to talk about that a little bit, but I think we can just kind of fold it into here. Apparently it's going to be a reboot, a soft reboot, not an actual a sequel to the first one, because they're not bringing back Will Smith as Deadshot. However, I believe they're bringing Idris Elba into this. Right. Let me see if that's confirmed.
And Jay Leno, right, as Joker, he's not returning either, right?
Jared Leto.
Sorry,
God damn
terrible
it.
with
no, Jay Leno. That's so fucking funny. Yeah, I want to throw the Batman. I think he's big chin Jay Leno. Remember? You know who I'm talking about, right, Tristan?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. No, who's gonna be Deadshot? I thought it was going to be Idris Elba. Perhaps I'm wrong, but he is being replaced as. Oh no, he is. Yes, probably. Okay, so apparently they're in talks. From the looks of it. So either way, though, point being is that it seems like that's going to be a soft reboot. Now I'm a little concerned about it, but frankly, we're getting new Guardians, so that's good too. Right. No, but I was asking you what you thought about this, Tristan, more so due to the fact that, this guy was fired over no allegations, just he made terrible jokes in the past, and he's apologized for them, but we don't care. So he was let go.
And I mean, he's made it, at least to this point, evident that he's changed in that sense and does not make jokes like that anymore.
And it's not just due to his word, right? And we're only taking it on his word. We've seen that he hasn't made jokes like that. Believe me, the internet wouldn't let those... The internet that screen caps everything would not just be like, I don't know. I guess he made them recently, maybe. I don't know. No, there would be actual pictures of some shitty jokes if he made any jokes like that. And the entire cast and crew, we talked about that last time, came out and even said, hey, we're not going to do another movie unless James Gunn is directing. Right. So I wonder if, from the looks of it, Disney maybe just... Because I don't know if that was in the article itself, but I'm pretty sure Disney may have just been like, hey, keep your head down and don't be a dick. And James Gunn, who seemingly is not a dick, kept his head down.
Was like, okay.
Yeah. No, the reason why I say this is simply due to the fact that, there are some people, like, perhaps, even though what Roseanne said was really bad, perhaps if she kept her head down and apologized, ABC may have let her come back. But then she switched up her stories, and it sounded like she was making excuses, and all this stuff had happened. And thankfully, though, she did, to be fair to Roseanne, she let go her creative control of it in some way, or her creative stake. And so now they're making a show called The Conners, as if Roseanne, the character, has passed away. Yeah. So good on her for doing that and allowing them to keep on working and having more work. So I will, good on her for that, to be fair.
Yeah,
But
right.
at the same time, though, it's just that, James Gunn, again, made really shitty, if you even want to call them jokes, right? They were terrible, and he should definitely be condemned for doing that, but he should have been condemned at the time.
Right.
So I don't know if we should retroactively, condemn
Yeah.
him over this. Now,
Right.
to be
Exactly.
fair, after Guardians 3, if no one wants to hire him again, so be it, right? But I just feel like looking at this specific situation, just as one situation, it just seems disingenuous for Disney to fire him when the comments were out there for years.
Yeah.
And he has apologized for those comments. A
Right.
bit like, to be fair, a bit like that Kevin Hart situation. I don't know if you heard about that, Tristan, where he said homophobic things. He is an actual comedian, though, but he said homophobic things both on stage and I believe on Twitter. And they were terrible. And he should be shamed for it. And he was at the time. And he apologized at the time. And now people were coming out and bringing it up again. Now, I think he played the victim a bit too much, where he said, I feel like I'm being attacked online and it's being directed at me. And it's like, hey, man, but you said the things, though, right? Like, you did say the things. But still, you have to, at some point, you have to look at a situation and go, okay, how long ago did they say it? And have they apologized? And does it seem like they've changed? And if those three things
they
are
kept
met,
up with that apology and not done it again.
And I feel like if those three things are met, you don't have to accept the apology.
Right.
And you don't have to go see Guardians, right? Like, anyone who has been abused as a child does not have to go see Guardians. Right? I'm not saying that you have to watch the movies that he's in. No, like, you can say, hey, those jokes offended me because, that happened to me as a kid and that's just not right. So I'm not going to see Guardians. Right?
Right.
Okay.
No,
and that's totally
fine.
fair.
That's up to your
right?
discretion. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But I feel like it shouldn't bar him from work if those three conditions have been met. That's all you need, the three conditions. If they haven't been met, then I think we definitely, and I mean we, not you and I even, Tristan, but anyone really, can definitely sit back and be like, well, hey, he hasn't apologized. And because, like, there's a recent situation that came up with Tucker Carlson where he made older comments on a radio show that were, that were sexist, homophobic, you name it, just a smorgasbord of asshole, right? And so he did. And so we look at that, right? We, again, anyone looks at that and goes, okay, so I think with the criteria, well, did he say them a long time ago? Well, he did. Okay. Regardless of what you think he may, he says on a show now, still, he said those a long time ago. Okay. 2, has he apologized? He has not. So that's 2. And 3, has he changed? And if you think that some stuff that he said on the show mirrors the stuff that he says on his platform now, on his show on Fox News, well, then he doesn't meet all those criteria, and then you judge as you judge. In this situation, I just think that he's moved, James Gunn in this case has moved on from those comments, has shamed himself with those comments. Hey, I was a shitty person back then. Oh, okay. People don't usually get that candid about themselves in their comments. And I think that we need to be able to be in a society that can look at someone who is clearly changed, who has grown, and go, okay, good. You've changed and you've grown. Just because you've learned about this doesn't mean that it actually happened yesterday. Just because you learned about it yesterday doesn't mean that it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. Tristan and Patchy, anything you guys want to say before we move on?
No, I think that's good.
All right. So I want to hear what you guys think down below. I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting comment section. Either way, though, no, because it's going to be very interesting because you're going to have some people, not everyone.
It's a comment section. When is it?
No, well, you know what it is, dude? I'm worried that some people who are going to be, oh my God, Patchy's leg twitch is adorable.
Yeah.
No, I'm just worried that some people who are the type that say, well, jokes should never be a problem. Anything you say is a joke should never, ever be held accountable. Like, you should never be held accountable or responsible for those jokes. Are some of those people are going to be the same ones that say, oh no, James Gunn should definitely be fired, and just be disingenuous about it. That's the thing, man. Like, I just want people to be genuine about how they feel about stuff. So it's very interesting how the second some of this stuff came out with James Gunn, some of those same people who say that were immediately anti-gun. So,
Right.
again, very interesting comment section. But I still, regardless, even if it's, even if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Like, I would love to talk with you guys about this stuff in the comments down below. So please comment down below.